Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time. I'm your host, Dal. How to pick winning long shots in horse racing. This video is going to be the first in a series of how to pick winning long shots. Different angles, covering a different one in each video. Let's face it, horse players, whether they're a novice, whether they're an expert or a pro, or they're just learning, every one of them are interested in bringing home some cash by hitting a long one here and there. And I'm going to be addressing that right here in this video. And today, the first topic in how to pick winning long shots in horse racing, I'm going to be talking about the turn back angle. What do I mean by a turn back angle? That's horses turning back in distance. Maybe they're cutting back from a mile to 7 furlongs or 6 furlongs, longer, a mile and 3/16 or so down to a mile, but especially if you're 7 furlongs to 6. So it begins with having data to work with and being familiar with the data, because as they say in horse racing, pace makes the race, and you want to be able to read a running line, quarter times, first call, second call, third call. That all comes into play here. And in this angle, what we're going to be looking for, which is a devastating angle, which I have won quite a bit of money with, is the turn back horses who do exhibit speed, enough speed to be competitive. And I'm going to show you here an example right within the video, so it's not going to be a mystery about what I'm talking about. Maybe some of you, I'm going to present a way to get some of this data that you need to cover this angle and other angles for free within this video. So we'll get started, and I'll give you an example of this right here. In this example, to turn back, you're looking for an early a horse that runs longer, who has competitive speed, competitive pace, doesn't have to be a front runner to compete within the race, and the odds are longer. So let's bring up a PP. Here, an example from an upcoming race, the turn back angle. Now this race is going to be coming up. This is a Saturday race, 10th race at Churchill Downs on the 22nd. That's Saturday. Now this is a 6 furlong race, optional claim 100K. 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3 times, etc. So you get the deal. It's a 6 furlong race. So what we're going to be doing here is looking at the pace figures. Remember I said it's important to be able to read the pace figures? And I'll show you why. Because here, within the center, you see the speed figure of the horses, right? 90, 90, and radical right. But here, to the right of the speed figure, you have the position this horse was within the first call, the second call, in the stretch, and where they were coming for home. You could see this one at the first call was 9th, 4 lengths back, second call 6, 4 lengths back. Now this one, we move over to the left, we could see the early energy, how fast this horse energy it had running early. Now this was 89, 98 by the second call. Opens 12-1, Tyler Gaffleone. So what we're going to do first here, first time through the PPs, is scan the horses and look at those early pace figures represented by the E1 and E2 and where they were along the track and what went down. Okay, we'd see right here, we get an idea. This one ran 88, 91, 89, 98, more of a pressing type. Now we'll go down to the second one. Now this one, TrackMate, is a little bit interesting. This one is first one has been running at 6 furlongs, and this is a 6 furlong race, radical right, so it's not a turn back. Now this one is a little interesting. Look at this. Ran decent numbers, 92, 92. Wasn't especially that fast early, but now look at its previous 2 races at 6 furlongs and what represents a turn back to 6 furlongs. Won both of those races and had excellent energy early, 92, 101, compared to, say, 89, 98, 88, 91. And the race prior to that, 96 and 100. Now, didn't even need the lead, but was running that, had that kind of energy. and still it won both races by open lengths, 3 1/4 and 2. And at the distance, if you look at the distance on the right, does have 3 wins in 5 tries at the distance, and a second and a third with a Brisnet high speed of 102 at the distance. And this one's not opening as a favorite for Dwayne Lucas, Mr. Preakness. And this one opens at 9-2, and the turn back fits this one like a glove, getting back to perhaps its favorite distance, Trackmate, at a Union Regs, and gets Rafael Belgerano up. So 9-2, keep that one in mind, number 2. Now we move down. Now we got Irad Ortiz on this one in Scotland, 7-2. Has not run at this distance. It is turning back. It is turning back. Has some nice numbers. Bill Mott, the trainer. But what I'm looking at here is the early speed energy disbursement. 80, 86, 88, 97, 94, 100. I'd like to see, it doesn't match the 2 as far as the pace when running at 6. This one might prefer it a little bit longer, as you can see by its running line. So we move down. We come down to Eyewitness. Eyewitness 4 opens 12-1, and something that's flying off the page at me here. This one is turning back from 7 furlongs to 6. Is Yami Torres up, decent jock. At the distance 1-2, but now at Keeneland, this one ran faster fractions, led almost all the way before finishing second. But I'm catching a turf race at Belmont in May of last year. You can see it does have speed if it wants to let it loose. 109, 124 early disbursement. 96, 91, has run in stakes races. Comes off a career best start, 4-year-old. So this is one to keep an eye on as a long one in a turn back scenario. Because this one can run fast early if it wants to. So far, 2 and 4. 5 doesn't really have a pace here. 84.95, 88.94. It's 12-1. Steve Asmussen. So far, 2 and 4 that stands out as far as the turn back. Now this one, 6, confidence game. This one has ran here before. 2 for 7, turning back. Its last race was 5.5 on turf, so that's not its game. Only one career turf start for Keith DeSormo. But you see a lot of its races a mile and a 16th. Here you got a 7 furlong race. Did run in the Derby at one point. Does have some numbers at Churchill where it runs very fast early. You see this 94, 103 here in the race 2 back at Churchill. Then the time before that at Churchill, 100, 104. Before that at a mile and a quarter, 103, 100. Fairgrounds even at a mile and a 16th, 102, 109, 95, 95. 6 is a definite long shot contender based on the pace and the turn and the turn back. And it is 1 for 2 at the distance with a third and also 2 wins at Churchill Downs at 7 tries. So we got 2, 4, 6 are turn backs. 7, staying at the different distance, solid horse. Do you want to try and beat it? Is this one? It's won 3 of 4. Champlin, going to be tough, no doubt about that. 3 for 4 at the distance. Now the question is this one going to be able to get the lead or will he get pressed? See, the one time this one did get pressed, two back at Keeneland at this distance, first, second, first, fifth. It's probably going to be the chalk here. And 8 has some nice numbers. Now this one does, the 7 does have the two quick fractions there at Keeneland and Fairgrounds. At Churchill, not quite as fast early. So he very well could be a beatable favorite here. Keeps the jock. We move down to 8. Good middle pace. Second, 4-1. This one has a good second pace figure. Nine. We get decent speed in this race. 94, 105. 1 for 11 at Churchill. No turn back, staying at the same distance. Same with the 4. And same with the 7. I could see the 6 giving the 7 and the 8 a hard time based on these 100 pace figures here. Here the 8 it wound up earning 88, but it was leading, by the second call, and mile and 16th only has to go 6 today. And the 4. And 2, I could see the live long shots being right here, the 2 track mate, based on the numbers on the pace scenarios, based on the turn back, getting back to 6 furlongs where it ran 92, 101, 96, 100, and pair of victories there with the same jock, live at 9-2, not favored. And the other one, the one that looks like an interesting long shot that can get into the exotics just based on its early speed at this track, is number 6, Confidence Game. Now it's based on the speed figures. Now, if you want to get free PPs, not for just this track, but other tracks, maybe you could experiment with this angle. Look for some of them are more exaggerated than this one, but even this one here, the 2 and the 6 look like live ones here. If you wanted to go 3 deep and use them in doubles, the 6, I'd keep an eye on it getting into the exotics just based on the early pace. It has exhibited at over a mile, and today it only has to go 6. So if they all knock heads, that's going to be the one that has the stamina to keep going. And the 2 as well, and even the 4 a little bit. But this is a case of looking for horses that have run longer and they're turning back and they have the speed, the pace to compete. Now, what happens if you see some of these horses, say you find one that looks really, really live, where there's more of an edge than in the case that I demonstrated here, but you can, don't get swung by the board. Maybe the horse opens at 12-1 and you see the horse is currently on the board at 5-1 or 6-1 or 7-1, and you say, I'm not getting 12-1. This is not value. Maybe the line maker makes the line based on what he believes the public is going to be betting, not on who he thinks is the favorite horse, who he likes to win. So if you're still getting decent odds, and don't let that throw you off your horse, because even 5-1, 6-1, that can generate some good payouts. If you sneak it into an exacta or a box or a multi-race play, and they come in, and this looks like a good race, 10th race on Saturday at Churchill Downs. And if you want free, I was talking about free PPs, free data. I have a link below in the description area where you can get free Brisnet PPs for every track in America, every thoroughbred track. So maybe you want to practice with this angle. They're not going to pop up every race. It most often happen in sprints, and The angle I like best, if I could find it, are the ones turning back from, say, a mile to 6 furlongs, or 6.5 or 7, cutting back to 6. Those are the ones that sometimes are most pronounced, especially when you get those milers turning back. That's the most often you'll see in that case scenario, in a turn back angle. Mile turning back to 6, 7 furlongs. And if you can find a nice pace edge like that 6 horse here in that 10th race, keep an eye on it. Definitely should be part of the pace, likes the track, exhibited that big early speed at Churchill. And free PP's, link to that down below. So I want to thank everybody for watching. If you like this video, let your friends know about it, horse racing friends, and feedback's always appreciated. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to get notifications of all new upcoming videos when they are released, and I do them regularly here on All Horse Racing All the Time. So best of luck with this angle. More of these shows hitting how to pick long shots in horse racing coming up. Have a great day, everybody. All the best. And remember, may the horse always be with you.